after using this palette for a week, I probably will not be purchasing another Adept palette again. I'm trying to imagine what color story they could come out with that would really, really draw me in to their formula, and there's nothing. I don't think anyways, because I have been watching them as a brand for years and years, and this and then the Arrow palette are about the only two things that drew me in. Like, I don't regret the purchases at all. It's just now I know my preference, and that's fine. And I'm really happy for that. And that's what doing this is meant to do. You know, explore your collection, use your products that you have, understand your own style and preference and that sort of thing. So I would call this a win. All right, this is the first look with the Adept Element 115 palette, where I am spending the week exploring the palette. I'm very excited to get started on this today for the first look, first day. I am wanting to do something a little more demure, I should say, a little more mellow, which is a little challenging with a color story like this, but we'll see. I'm going to try to make it work. I am just winging this. I have no plan in mind. I'm going to go in with this shade here, Commander DF, and put that on my eyelid somewhere. I am wanting to go for a softer, more grungy, gothic, romantic look today. What does that mean? Well, I don't know. There's someone on YouTube. I forget what her handle is, but basically she calls herself Fairy, or no, not Fairy. She calls herself the Goth Mother. And I've been watching a lot of her content recently, and so I'm really, really inspired by that currently. I'm not gonna lie, I chose a pretty bad brush to do this with, but I wanted to make things a little more challenging for myself, I guess. I just cleaned my brushes, so I have so many brushes to choose from, and I chose this one just to make my life difficult. I need a little challenge, you know. I like this. I like this so far. It's just one wash of color. The pigment is good. It doesn't help that I'm using this brush. It's probably not the best brush to lay this color down with if you want really high impact. But like I said, I wanted something a little softer, a little more mellow. All right, going in with this little, it's kind of a thicker liner brush, I think. I'm not really sure. It's flat and small, but kind of a little thick. And I'm going to go into this shade here and kind of smoke out my lash line. And I'm only going to go into the middle of my eye, because I know that's a technique that was used a lot in the 70s and 80s potentially, and it's this look so far. The colors are definitely giving that vibe, so I really enjoy the artistry and the different time periods and la 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 about makeup and art and all of that fun stuff. I have some future video ideas planned that are a little more interesting than 7 looks, 1 palette, and just a little more interesting than the videos I've been putting out, things that really interest me, and deep thought and deep thinking really interest me. And so it's kind of focused on that, but in regards to makeup. And it's something that I'm putting more effort into than something like this, which this already has effort put into it. It's a longer video. I'll have to edit and all of that sort of thing, but I'll have to edit the other one. The other one that the videos that I'm planning are a little more about research and thoughtful and that sort of thing. A little more mental thoroughness, insight, thought-provoking, potentially. The thing is, when you put out content like that, it can also be very polarizing, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have any followers, so like, fuck it. And it's something that I enjoy thinking about, and so maybe other people will also enjoy thinking about it or pondering it. So, okay, loving this so far. Okay, I'm going to go into the shade UFO, and I'm going to use a fluffier flat brush and just diffuse that shade on the eyelid. Now, one thing about this shade is I have used it before quite a few times in the past. I'm just going to diffuse it as best I can. It's a very intense shade and it stains the eyelid. And so I don't love that about this shade, but I like the effect it gives. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. It really is. But I just do not like colors that stain the eyelids. It's just not my preference, because I have a life outside of makeup, outside of work, outside of everything, where I want to be able to look at myself in the mirror and not have the day show in the mirror, if that makes sense. Like, I want to be, and it's not because I don't like the makeup that I wear, I do, or that I feel like I'm hiding my true self or whatever, or anything like that. It's just, so one thing about this shade is I have used it before quite a bit, and it does stain the eyelids, which I'm not a huge fan of. It's not my preference, and I don't prefer shades that stain the eyelid, but I will accept it right now. And I also don't know, I haven't used this technique on it. Usually I go a little heavy-handed, versus this I'm diffusing it more, so it might turn out a little different. It might not stain. I will report on in a couple minutes when you see the second video, or the second look. I will let you guys know if it stained my eyelids, but this is looking so elegant, so lovely, not demure at all, not calm or collected at all. I think it looks elegant. I think it looks good. I think it looks very simple and basic, and I like it. It's not a very complicated look, and I am really loving this. Oh my god, it's so sexy. Okay, I'm going to go into this shade again and kind of add a little more, maybe even this shade too, or this shade, add a little more oomph to the bottom lash line and to the lash line in general. Okay, going in with the other side of this brush that I used for the blue, I'm going to go into this shade here, mix it, and go into the inner corner and add a little bit of highlight and probably a little under the brow as well. Going to go like this to mix it. That's lovely. Okay, one thing I will say so far is that these shades that are striped are behaving differently in the pan than these other shades, where it's almost like you can separate the colors. I don't know how to describe it. It's like separating almost, or more, it's less stable. It feels like just slightly, like it doesn't feel like I'm going to break it or anything if I travel with it, or any more so than like a normal shade in here. It's just when I'm using it, it almost feels like my brush is potentially going to break it apart or something. But that's why I'm using it for a week, to see if anything happens, if my assumption is correct, or if it's just kind of just, if it's just behaving differently because it is a differently pressed shadow or differently formed, or if striping the shadows before you press them does cause the structure to have less integrity. I don't know. But what I do know is that I love this effect. It looks so beautiful. This is such a good shade. Like, I know the stripes are a little gimmicky, whatever, but the shades that they turn into are really cohesive for this palette. I like it so far. All right, I'm going to finish up. All right, so this is the first look so far. All right, so I'm going to finish up the rest of my face, come back and show you guys the first look with this 7-day 7 looks palette. I'll be right back. This is the first day's finished look. I'm really enjoying it. I really like it. I think it looks really elegant and just fun, simple. Really liked it. It's simple in the technique, but it's not simple as in, it's not a no makeup look. Everyone's gonna be knowing that I'm wearing eyeshadow right now, which is fine. I really enjoyed the look so far with this. The rest of this face makeup I used for the base, I just used the Dior Forever 24-Hour Foundation, whatever this is, in the shade 2N. Enjoy this. I used for my blush, I used Fenty Cherry Pied. Enjoyed this a lot as well. Used for my cheeks and rest of my face, I used a combination of this bronzer, the Buttermilk bronzer, and Deserve Butter in this shade, and I used this blush in Cherry Pied. Also really enjoy this as well. And then I also used a few shades in the Forget Me Not palette. I used this for my contour, and then I used this for my highlighter. And for lips, I used a combination of a few things because I'm not super happy. I just don't have so many lighter lip products. Yeah, I don't have a lot of lighter lip products that either show up on me or are a good tone for me. So this is about the lightest shade that I have that's also a neutral, and it is very small, very old, Milani in the shade 09 Spice. Very little left of this. And then on my lips, I also have a combination of O Face from e.l.f. This is, I don't think this, actually, and then on my lips for lipstick, I have a combination of the shade O Face from e.l.f. Or no, that's not the Dirty Talk. I think this formula or something is O Face in Dirty Talk. My sister gave this to me. I will not throw this away because she gave it to me and it was really nice of her. And the shade generally looks nice. And I also have a combination of the shade 10N from this brand. This is, I can't tell if this or this, they're pretty similar. They're pretty similar. These are the two lightest shades of lipstick in my collection that I have. And I should probably get more. It's just difficult for me to find tones of lip liners and lipsticks that are lighter that I enjoy on me. Most lip liners are like this. This is a little warm in my opinion for the look. Most lip liners are warm. It's really difficult for me to find a cooler toned one that's dark enough, because I have some cooler toned lip liners that are too light and they just don't show up. It's like my same skin tone or same, yeah, it's a struggle for me to find lip products and lip shades that give me the effect that I'm looking for on my skin tone and skin depth as well. So oh well, this is good enough. This is good enough and I'm happy with it. So this is this is the first look, and hopefully you enjoy this video so far and you keep watching the other looks. Bye bye. This is day 2 of me doing a look with the Element 115 palette by Adept. I'm super excited. Yesterday when I used this shade that typically stains on me, it didn't stain. It could have been the technique that I used, because generally when it's stained, I've used my finger and just applied it with a finger, but maybe it's a combination of I used a lighter hand with it, with a fluffy brush. Who knows? Maybe I had enough shadow underneath to prevent it from bleeding through and staining the eyelid. I don't know, but I'm glad it didn't stain yesterday. Very happy about that. Today I think I'm going to do I am wearing green and I was thinking about doing a green look, but I think I'm gonna go with purple because I have the Danessa Myricks Color Fix foils. This was given to me by a friend and I haven't used it in a long time, and I kind of want to use it. I think it'd be really great with some of the purples in here, and maybe I'll go with this, or I don't know, we'll see. I'm just gonna wing it, but I'm super excited to do the look today. The first thing I'm going to do is apply the Color Fix foil. I can't read the shade name. It's a little difficult to read, and I also don't have glasses on, and it's rainy and I can't really see very well. But I'm gonna apply that as my base first. And that, I did a tiny drop, and that even might be too much for this. Wow. Ugh. I really like the effect that this is giving. I say that, it's gonna be the base. It's gonna be covered up by powder and it's only going to slightly show through. Also that, I did a tiny, tiny dot on my finger and that was too much. Like I had to wipe off that about that much. So a little goes a long way. I haven't used it enough to really understand it super well or understand how much I need to use and that sort of thing, but that's what doing this 7 week 7 palettes is for, is to understand my products better and to just explore products more. So I'm excited for it. The next thing I'm going to do is go in with this shade here, buff it out into my crease and just add a little dimension, and then I'm going to go in with this shade after. I don't know if I'm going to create a super smoky look yet. We'll see where it goes. All right, that looks good. It looks a lot more vibrant in person than it does in the camera. Maybe I need to adjust something in the camera. Now I'm going to go into the shade Propulsion and go back in where I just went with this shade and kind of deepen it up, give it a little more dimension with this. All right. I really like the way that this is turning out. I think it looks really nice. A little ethereal, I should say. I like the base that's sparkly because one, I really like sparkle, and then two, it's just giving this really flawless, it looks really cool. I really like it. I would say laying down the shimmer or foil base is giving it the really ethereal shifting quality to it, where because it's the base, you get to see the shift no matter what, and it's really nice. I really like that. All right, so I am going to go in with a liner brush and go into Specimen and wing out the eye look. I'm gonna say just a little bit. We'll see. We'll see how it turns out. Okay, just a little baby wing. It's really, really difficult for me to just do a little baby wing. I do want to take it out more, but I'm trying not to. One thing me and my partner have been watching a lot lately of is, we don't have streaming platforms. Well, yeah, we don't really have streaming platforms. I think sometimes we will get some when we really want to watch a show. So we got the Apple Plus at one point so that we could watch Ted Lasso, and that was wonderful. I really, really enjoyed that show. It gave me a lot of hope. Gave me a lot of hope for the world. And one of the things that we have been watching lately on YouTube we watch a lot of things on YouTube because it's free, and it's day in my life as a Chinese person in China, which sounds so silly, and it's so interesting though, and it is really interesting just seeing the different places in China and the different people making vlogs. Like, my favorite one to watch is this guy who lives in, I think he lives in a mid-sized city, which I think to be a city, considered a city or considered a town in China, you have to have more than 1 million people there in that area. And his premise for his vlog is that he's a poor or that he's a more poor person in China, living in China. And it's really interesting because the other day my partner was watching a woman who wasn't poor and she spent, so the guy that I watch, who is my favorite to watch, he spends about $1 to $2 a day on food, and she spent $2 to $5 a meal on food. And so the difference is so interesting, and he will talk about just the differences in culture, because the woman intentionally didn't move to a specific area in the town so that she wouldn't gain 20 pounds when she was living there, which I thought was so funny. And he also thought it was funny because he's like, we're not really so worried about like gaining weight other than just being healthy, I suppose. Okay, I really like the effect of this eye look so far. I think it looks really, really nice. I wouldn't necessarily have to go in with a shimmer currently, because it already has the shimmer. It has the shimmer base, and it looks really ethereal, but I do want to use a few of these purple shades. I'm not gonna do this one. Maybe these. I'm kind of drawn to this one specifically, even though I don't know it would go super well with this. We'll see. I think I'm gonna go this in the inner corner, and then maybe something like this. We'll see. Maybe I'll even use the gold. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself right now, but we'll see. I'm just gonna wing it and see how it goes. Okay, taking a flat brush to do all this. One of the things, so me and my partner don't have streaming platforms. We will get some occasionally to watch specific shows. So we got Apple Plus to watch Ted Lasso, and I really enjoyed that series. But generally we don't really have streaming platforms, and that's okay. We don't really need it because we have YouTube and we watch a lot of YouTube, and plus both of us are working professionals and we're in school. So it's not really practical for us to have a lot of streaming services. But one of the things that we have been watching a lot together is vlogs of my daily life in China as blank, as a Chinese person. And it's been so interesting. My favorite person to watch is this guy. I don't know his handle or anything, but he's somebody he's a more frugal or more poor person in the city that he lives in. And so his thing is like, how I live in China, in this city, as a more poor person, and how do I get along? What does my daily life look like? That sort of thing. And it's really interesting. And I've really enjoyed it. And he watched this woman the other day who is not poor, or at least she didn't. So the guy that I watch spends about $1 to $2 a day on food, and that includes going out to eat, going to the bar, all of that. $1 to $2 a day in US dollars. And the woman that he watched the other day, it was the first time that he'd seen her, she spent $2 to $5 a meal. And it's so interesting to watch the different lifestyles that people are living and the different things that they have in China. And it's super, super interesting. Not that I want to live there. I don't really have an interest in living there. Now, if my partner got a job there or something, that would be different. It would depend, like, it would depend on finances and all of that. If the money and the research he was doing was good enough to compensate for moving to China and learning the language and living, like, having a completely different lifestyle. I don't know, but I am really liking this color. I really, really like this. But that's just something that we have been doing together as a couple, and it's been really fun and interesting to watch, because I am Asian, and I'm Southeast Asian, and I grew up around a lot of Eastern Asians. And so it's very interesting to watch and compare. Like, a lot of the Asians that I grew up around were either first generation or second generation, so they spoke the language, they were really connected with the culture, all of that. And so it's interesting to hear the differences in people living in China there and what I grew up with. And so it's super interesting, it's super fun. And so I just went in with this shade. Okay, so I just went in with this shade, and I think I'm going to go in with this shade as well onto the rest of the eyelid. We'll see. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that, going in with the same brush on the other side. So that's been really fun for us to do together and talk about and discuss, and just the cultural differences and all of that. And it's been interesting. And I also follow this person she's a woman who is American, who moved to China with her husband, or her husband is Chinese, and she moved there and they have a kid, and she just talks about that kind of life in China, like having a family and stuff in China as an expat, I suppose. And it's super interesting. It's super, super interesting. I don't really have the desire to be an expat, and I don't really desire, like, I don't even really have a desire to travel. I did a lot of traveling when I was younger, in my 20s, or I guess younger 20s, I'm still in my 20s. And, you know, I kind of realized, like, wow, everyone's kind of the same version of each other. Cultures are different, food is different, but when you try enough and you go enough places, you realize that most people are pretty much the same everywhere you go. People are different, people are special and unique and that sort of thing. And it was a really, really pleasant, good experience for me, but it kind of settled me a little bit. It settled me into a state of, oh, I can be anywhere that I want to be, and I can be myself. I can, generally people are pretty neutral. People are neither really, really good or really, really bad, and everyone's just trying to do their best. And just settle wherever you want to settle, I suppose. That was what I got from that, or one of the things that I got from it. And so I don't have this need to travel a lot or go explore the world or see things. Like, some things would be cool to see, but I don't need to post anything. I don't need to, I don't know. If it's for myself, I don't need it. I really like this. This is really, really beautiful so far. Yeah, I'm really, really enjoying this. I might go in with a little bit of gold on the bottom. This will be the first time that I have used this gold. It might be the first time, and it might turn out to look like shit. We'll see. I'm gonna try it. Oh, that is much more subtle than I was anticipating. I thought it was going to be as bright as what's in the pan. It is not. You can barely see that. Oh my lord, okay. It's mixing with the purple a little bit, and it looks really good. Looks better than I thought it was gonna look, I'm not gonna lie. But I didn't know how this was gonna look. But that's why we're doing this. To see, to experiment. And I really like that. That looks super fun. It's not as bright, and I kind of wonder if it would look even cooler if it was this punchy. Maybe it's because I'm going in with the brush. But I'm not going to go into the center of my eyelid with this. It's not like that, okay? We're not doing that. Okay, I am going to finish up the eye look and finish up the base and come back and show you guys the finished look. But I'm really liking this. Overall, I really am enjoying this look. I think it looks really fun. Very purple, very sparkly, very shimmery. I really like it. The base is a little too warm for my preference with the eye look specifically. The shade of foundation that I use matches more of my shoulders and is a little more, you can tell it's a little dark, and generally during work this part is showing. I mean, there's a definite tan line there, but it's all right. So it's a little too warm, I think, for the eye look specifically, but you know, oh well, it's just one day. And I think overall it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. I really am enjoying the eyeshadow specifically. And the lips I'm enjoying. For the lips I used Armani 109 in this shade, or the shade 109. Blush was a combination of the Fenty, whatever formula this is, in the shade Cherry Pied. Really, this is probably my favorite blush that I have. Really enjoyed the formula and the color application, the sheen, everything about it. I really enjoy this. And then on top of that, this Butted Together blush from NYX. I also have Forget Me Not palette from Blend Bunny. I have this shade here, Remember, and then these two shades for my highlighters as normal. Overall, I really am enjoying this. Oh, and then for the foundation, I currently have on 2.5N in Dior. The shade that I have been going with lately is 2, and I didn't realize I was such a different color than this currently, or at least noticeably to me in the camera. So I think overall it looks really good, and I'm really pleased with the way that this turned out. And yeah, oh, I've been forgetting to put on my glasses at the end. I think it's important to see what I look like with it. And I think, okay, with the glasses, the eye look plus the base is a lot less jarring to myself. I'm really happy with this. I'm really liking this. And oh, it looks so cute. Oh my God, it looks so cute right now. Anyways, guys, so this is the second look. I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll move on to the third look. All right, guys, it's day 3. Day 3 of this palette, and I am determined to do a neutral look. Every time I've said that, since I've started this channel, it has not been a neutral look, but I am determined today to do a neutral look. We'll see how this goes. So, when I was younger, back in my teens and early 20s, I used to do more subdued looks with palettes like this and colors like this. And I'm going to try to use the same techniques I used back then, which was work from dark to light and start really small. And so I'm going to try that and see if it works out. I really liked looks that I created from back then, and we'll see. Yesterday, the eyeshadow stained my eyelids. And so that was interesting. I didn't like that. It was to the point where my partner asked if there was something wrong. And I was like, no, it's just the eyeshadow. It's just the eyeshadow palette. After I took off the makeup, it was looking a little like I had really bad allergies. Okay. Subdued, demure, all that bullshit. Gonna keep trying. Going to go in with a very small brush and go into I was planning on using one of these two shades because they're probably the most neutral in the palette and they lean a little bit pink. So I'll probably go with this. And I'm just going to pat that on the lash line. This isn't the most pigmented shade. Really nice. Oh, that looks beautiful so far. Looks beautiful. I'm gonna use this to put on this shade here, Tic Tac. And the reason I'm using this brush specifically is because it is fluffy, but it has a lot of surface area, so it's going to disperse the sparkle, hopefully, onto the eyelid in a very diffused way. That's really pretty. It's really pretty, but it's also a shade that kind of reminds me of when I get a really red face. When it's really red and I'm also greasy. That's kind of what this is giving. Just a little bit. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. This was the plan. It was the plan. And maybe once I cover up my skin with foundation, it might look a little better. We'll see. We'll see. Something a little more neutral. A little more neutral. I am going to do a little more pizzazz, and I'm going to go into either this shade here, Reverse Engineer, maybe even this one, maybe UAP, or this one, Classified, and I'm going to do a little bit of sparkly liner action because I love that effect, so I'm going to try it and see if it makes any difference. Wait, I don't, oh, my eye is twitching. Oh my lord. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see the line, and I'm also using the shade Classified. I'm just going in on the very edge and just mixing it like that, and you can kind of see it. It looks okay. It's not the coolest effect, but it does still have a little bit of effect that in person looks really stunning in person. I'm going to finish my makeup, stop talking, and I will be right back to show you the finished look. All right, this is the finished third look. I think I can confidently say more neutral, slightly. Blue eyeliner, pink shimmer. Still, I suppose if you prefer browns in that kind of neutral, this isn't really neutral, but for me and my taste and my preference, this is super neutral. And I did it. I can't believe I actually did it today. I'm really enjoying it. I think it looks really nice. That's really it, guys, for the third look. Let's move into the fourth look. All right, day 4 of creating looks with this palette for a week. I'm excited. I think I'm going to go in with this green. I don't think I've used it very much in general. I think I'm gonna go in with this green. I might use this color here. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Let's jump into the look. Going in with the fluffier brush, I'm gonna go into this color. Ooh. Damn. That was so powdery. Good lord. Looking pretty bold, pretty bold. Ooh, the sun. I gotta pause. Oh, man, I really like this color. Like, I almost don't want to do anything else, but I am going to add more color. I'll go in with this color. I do want to go in with this color, but I have a feeling this is the color that stained my eyelids the other day, and I wasn't a fan of that, and I don't want to mess with that today. So I'm going to go in with this shade instead. I really need to clean up the edges here, but I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Okay, I cleaned it up a little bit. It helps me continue seeing the structure and that sort of thing. I like to clean as I go, because otherwise it can get just so chaotic that I lose the plot, you know? So I'm gonna keep building up with the green shade a little bit, actually, to blend the edges here, this blue. I really like the effect. I think it looks really good so far. Keep going. Okay, going in with a small liner brush, I'm going to go into this shade, line the bottom lash a little bit, and then blend it out with that green shade. All right, time for the shimmer. I'm very excited. I really like this look so far. I think it's so, I feel so powerful right now. This is a very bright and vibrant look, but I really want to use this shade here because I don't use it very much. I think the two shades that I don't really use in this palette are Weather Balloon, Extraterrestrial, and Gimbal Video. And I've already used Gimbal Video as a liner color this 7 Looks 7 palettes, or 7 Looks 1 palette. I haven't used this shade, Extraterrestrial. This would be a really good look to use that shade on. It would be so vibrant, so punchy. It would look really, really good. But I want to use this shade, so I'm going to use this shade. Okay, that looks a lot better than I was expecting. I didn't think it was gonna look like shit, but I didn't think that it would look this good. It's blending into the darker shade really, really nicely. I love this. I love this so much. It looks like a grungy mermaid, where you still have the really bright green and then you have this darker, I wouldn't say that it's a dark shimmer. It's just a little grungy. It's just grungy, and I really, really like it. I'm really loving this look. I'm going to finish up the eye look, finish up my face, come back, show you the finished look for day 4. Okay, I had to stop. I don't have my whole base ready, but guys, I'm sexy as fuck right now. Oh my god, I look so good. I love this look so far. I'm gonna keep finishing, but I just had to let that out. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. I can seduce myself. Oh my lord. I love this. I haven't even done my lips. I haven't done my eyebrows. My hair is a mess. Oh my lord. This is the finished look for number 4. I really enjoy it. Obviously, since I stopped my makeup look in the middle to talk about how much I really am enjoying this look. It's so sexy. It's so nice. And most of the time when I do a look like this, I don't wear false lashes. I'm not great at it. I'm still learning how to use them. It's difficult because I wear glasses and false lashes. I wear glasses, so my natural lashes are pretty long, and even when I curl them, I have to curl them a lot when I wear makeup like this or just mascara, because otherwise it will just hit the glass and get caught on the glass, and that's really annoying. I think this look looks really good even without false lashes. Like, does it look like it's missing? I mean, a little bit, but I don't think it looks like it's missing because I don't see myself with false lashes very much. Now, compared to the rest of the algorithm with YouTube, probably, but that's okay. I love this. I love this. Oh, I added purple. I added this purple to the inner corner. I could have smudged it or like added some out here. I didn't really want to. I think it would still look good, but I like the concentration of purple right here in the inner corner. I think it looks really good. I really like it. I really like this a lot. I'm not gonna do my hair today. I don't really feel like doing it. I'll style it after it's dry, but I don't want to blow dry it and all of that, and I don't want to wait to finish filming this. I love this, guys. I will see you guys in a few seconds for the 5th look. Bye bye. Today is I don't remember what day this is for this palette. I'm gonna say it's 6. It might be 5. I don't remember. It's definitely not 7. I am going to do a look that's inspired by a look that Betty Jean did on her channel. We'll see. This is a very different palette than the ones that she used for it, but I'm gonna give it a try. It's gonna be a look that I've never attempted, a structure I have never attempted. So we'll see how this goes. The first color I'm going to dip into is the shade here. Okay. It looks worse in person. On the camera, it looks fine, but in person, it's not. It looks really bad. Okay. Oh wow. Next, I am going to take probably a combination of this shade and this shade and kind of blend out this a little bit. Okay, this is looking good. This is looking good. Looks good. Okay. Okay, next I'm going to go in probably with the combination of these two shades as well, and just go in here and connect it. This is not blending very well. Why? I used this yesterday. Why is this not? It was blending fine the other day, and now it's looking, it's like really difficult to blend right here in this little crease. Sometimes it is difficult to blend in this crease and then out here sometimes. It just depends. So it just might be my skin, but because I wasn't having this issue the other day. Okay, I'm gonna call that good for now until I put on the shimmers. Yeah, I don't want to over blend it because I don't want to lose the structure. So I'm gonna put on the shimmers and then see how it's looking after that. For the shimmers, I think I'm going to go opposite. So I think I'm gonna go with this green shade on the outer corner and then this purpley shade on the inner corner. All right, I'm going to go finish up the eye look and the rest of the face, and I will be right back. This is look number 5 or 6 or whichever one it is. I really like it. I think it looks really good so far. It's a little difficult to see in this lighting. This lighting is not the best for really capturing what it looks like. Even when I'm up close, it's still really difficult to see just the effect that it has. I really, really like this. I think it looks really good. It strays pretty far from my inspiration, but that's okay. I'm really liking this so far. Something that is noticeable to me now that I've used it for almost 7 days straight, the pans, I'm very close to hitting pan in these powdery shades and some of these shimmers. These matte shades. These matte shades are very powdery, which makes it very easy to hit pan on, I would say, comparatively to a lot of other indie brands that I have used. I'm trying to think if there's a more powdery formula that I can think of, and I can't think of any specifically where all the mattes have been really, really powdery. And one thing that is good about that is if you're doing a project pan, these would be really easy comparatively to harder pressed shadows, or I suppose shadows that are just less powdery, to hit pan on if that's your goal. For me personally, that's not really a goal that I have. With I do like doing project pans, and I'm actively doing project pans in general, but these shades are so powdery that it makes it difficult to work with sometimes. Like when I was doing this outer darker part earlier with this shade, it was getting onto like my cheeks, and I really don't like that because I don't want to reapply my skincare and that sort of thing. So things like that where you have to constantly tap off the brush, but if you tap off the brush when the color payoff isn't as good, so it's a little frustrating, I would say. Like this is a very frustrating matte formula for the price that I paid for this palette. It's not horrible, it's not terrible, it just doesn't perform exactly the way that I would prefer. I do really like this look though. I really enjoy it. Also, I did a different technique with my blush today. I don't know if you can really tell because of the lighting, but I can definitely tell in person. I used these two shades, and I used this shade and I started out here on the apple of my cheeks, which I don't usually do. And then like I just did a dot of color here and here, and then I blended it out with this, basically diffusing it and then going up. I added a little bit more eyeshadow and emphasis to my eye look after my face was done, after I finished my eyebrows and everything. It just, my face was a little overpowering for the eye look, so I added some. But before I did that, my cheeks looked like I was 12. I don't know if I'm going to do that look again, because even with the eye look that I had before I added more, I looked like I was a 12-year-old cosplaying as like a 20-something-year-old. And I don't love that. You know, I'm very much not into appealing to people that like 12-year-olds. Not my thing. I don't like that. I think that's disgusting. And so I don't know if I'm going to do that. Like, it looked so youthful in a way where I was like, wow, this looks like the pictures of when I was like 4. I don't look, okay, I look different from when I was 4, but like not so much different. Like my face structure is pretty much the same. I had a very, like, my face was very round and very looked like this. It hasn't changed that much. The only thing that has changed is I've gotten discoloration, and I have some very fine lines and wrinkles, but like the actual structure is pretty much the same. So it looked like it was, I don't know if I want to do that again. I don't know. It kind of creeped me out. I'm not gonna lie. But overall, really like this look. I think it looks really stunning, really pretty. I forgot to put my glasses on to show you guys what it looks like with my glasses. I like it, but when I wear the glasses, it makes my cheeks look even more youthful with the blush placement. And I don't know, guys. I don't know how I feel about that. Anyways, look number 6 or 7, whichever one. Bye-bye. Today for the 6th or 7th look, I don't know which one it is, for the Element 115 palette, I'm going to do something a little more pastel, a little more light. So I'm really going to be focusing on these two shades here, maybe deepening up a little bit, a tiny bit, we'll see. But I just want to do something a little more ethereal, a little more light, a little more pastel-y. So let's see if I can do it. First, going in with the shade, this purple shade, they're here, and I'm going to use that in my crease and as my base. Going in with a small angled brush, I'm going to go into the shade Commander DF. All right, this is the effect I was kind of going for. When I put shimmer down, it'll probably look better. And when I finish the rest of my face. So I think I'm going to go in with a little bit of this shade. Maybe I'll deepen up a little bit with this shade actually in the outer corner, and then go in with a little bit of this shade and this shade. Okay, not quite what I was envisioning, but I think it looks really nice. I'm going to finish up my eyes, my face, everything, come back, show you the finished look, and hopefully it turns out well. This is the finished look, 6th or 7th, not sure. I really enjoy this look. I think it looks so adorable. When I was doing my mascara, I thought my eyes, my whole face looks really doll-like, and so I went with that. I really like it so far. My lips, I did a little bit of concealer lips, not gonna lie, and I did a little bit of lip tint in the center, put some gloss on. I really like the effect with the blush placement and the eye look. My eyelashes look so long today. Looks really nice. I really like it, but it looks very doll-like. I really enjoy this look so far. Yeah, and I think maybe my hair has something to do with it today as well. Everything looks so cute, and I like the effect of the eye look. Here, I'll come in a little closer so you can see. I really like it. I think it looks so ethereal, so cute. I am really enjoying this look. This is probably my favorite look. I'll probably take a picture with it to use for the thumbnail, but I really enjoyed this look. Now, do I love this look using this palette? I think actually achieving this look is it's more difficult using this palette than using other palettes that I have that have similar colors and tones, because the mattes are just not that great for achieving this look. I won't lie. This looks so fun. You have to build it up so much, and it's just, and same with this shade here. There's a lot of build up that you need to do, and then if you tap your brush off, it's very difficult to get the color payoff. I had to sit here and blend, and I'm not a fan of this matte formula. I'm going to be honest. These shades are okay so far. I think this one stains a little bit on me. This one is also fine, but just so powdery. It just not my favorite matte formula. But I do like the shimmers. I think it's good. Really enjoyed this look so far though. So yeah, on to the next look. This is the finished 7th look. I am really liking it. It looks different than what I've done before with this palette. I am really liking it. I ended up going in with this white shade, kind of blending up here a little in the inner corner, and then down here the blue a little more. It was a little harsh, and I really like the effect blending with the white gave with, I'm sorry, this is the Forget Me Not palette from Blend Bunny. I really am liking this look. I like the lip color. The lip color is in the shade 504 by Armani. I like it. I think it's good. I also lined my lips in black, and I think that was a good choice. It's harder to see because I blended it, and the the pencil I use is really old and I'm throwing this away after today because it did not want to apply at all. It was really stiff, really hard. It is done. I've had this almost probably 10 years at this point. Like, this brand is not alive anymore. It is not a brand anymore. So I think I'm gonna be throwing this away. I have other black lip liners. I just don't know where they are. I don't know where they are. They're somewhere in my lip. I don't have so many liners. But I am really liking this look. It's so, here, I'm gonna get a little closer so that you guys can see. It is so beautiful. I really, really like the shape and everything. I like it. I like it a lot. So this is the final 7th look for Element 115 palette. I have really enjoyed using this palette for a week, for 7 days. It's been more than a week because I haven't used it every day, but I really, really enjoyed it. And I think I am much more decisive on Adept as a brand after using this palette. I do have one other palette from them. I think it's called the Arrow palette, and it's more green. And I'll probably do maybe a 5 look, 1 palette look with that eventually, or a video of that eventually. But after using this palette for a week, I probably will not be purchasing another Adept palette again. I'm trying to imagine what color story they could come out with that would really, really draw me in to their formula, and there's nothing. I don't think anyways, because I have been watching them as a brand for years and years, and this and then the Arrow palette are about the only 2 things that drew me in. The Sapphire Celine palette, I think, that recently came out, also drew me in. But after using this palette for a week, the formula is just not worth the hype, in my opinion. I think the shimmers are good. The shimmers are great. The matte formula is so subpar for the price tag and indie brand in general. I do not like a powdery formula. I do not enjoy. You really have to build this up. It's not intuitive to work with. It's not great. It's not great comparatively to all the other indie brands that I've tried. It's just not my cup of tea, and that's personal opinion. Some people love a powdery formula because there are benefits to it. Like, I'm sorry if you can hear sirens in the background. There's some wildfires going on here, and there's been fire trucks and police all morning, but it's just not my cup of tea, and I know that now after using this for a week, and I'm fine. I'm fine not buying every palette and every brand and not enjoying every brand, and that's okay. I enjoy the palettes that I have from Adept. I really, really do. It's just, it's expensive. It is expensive to only enjoy, how many is this? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 eyeshadows out of 15. It's expensive. It's expensive. So I probably won't be purchasing from Adept again, but I have enjoyed using their palettes, and I'm excited to use this again eventually, and I'm excited to do the 5 looks 1 palette with the Arrow inspired palette. So I don't think, like, I don't regret the purchases at all. It's just now I know my preference, and that's fine, and I'm really happy for that. And that's what doing this is meant to do. You know, explore your collection, use your products that you have, understand your own style and preference and that sort of thing. So I would call this a win. I would call this a win. And this is a great, wonderful palette. I really enjoyed it. And so that concludes the 7 looks 1 palette, not movie, video. I am excited to use my next palette. The next palette that I'm going to be using is going to be the Nomad Ghost Town USA. I'm really excited to be exploring this. I think I'm going to do 3 looks 1 palette with this, maybe 5, because there's a lot of shades in here. But this was my favorite palette when this came out. I bought this when it came out, when it was new, and it was my favorite palette for so long. And so I'm really excited to use this again and create some looks and explore it for for a few days. So anyways, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys later. Bye bye.